Welcome to Curse of Strahd. Well, come back to Curse of Strahd, because this is not the first session. Let's just go. Last time, our
Let it go.
party, our party had made their presence known in the town of Valaki. You had a run-in with Fiona Voctor in her book of trapped devils. You had another run-in with the burgomaster, Vargas Volakovich, and his somewhat draconian way of ruling the town. You sought shelter with the Mardukov family, who told you about potential place to seek refuge at the winery, and as well as a mission to find the why the wine shipment had not arrived. In the midst of your time in the city, though, all came to a head when Gabe punched the lights out of Vargas Volakovich, Fiona Voctor taking her tome that used to be the Wizard's Tome, unleashing Lorcan, Finger of Oblivion, or at least an avatar of Lorcan, onto the city, causing chaos and panic. You fled the city in the midst of this panic, in the midst of the burning town and the death of Fiona and Vargas Volakovich, leaving the city to its own devices. You headed to the nearby Vistani camp, where you first met a man who you would know to be Aragal, who is somewhat a leader of some sort of the Vistani, who was heading out west towards Kresk. He warned you not to be too jovial, since the Vistani people were in the midst of looking for a missing person, a small girl named Arabelle, who was the daughter of the leader of the Vistani, Luvash. You went to Luvash, had a brief run-in with some Dusk Elves, some elvish people who are seemingly seeking refuge in the Vistani camp, who the leader, Casimir Velikov, told you that he knew of a place, an Amber Temple, that he thinks could be a ticket or a way to remove the curse on this place. He seemed like he had more information, but wanted to tell that to you in private. So he invited you and your party to meet him in his Dusk Elves the following morning, if you so please. Meanwhile, you went to Luvash, a boisterous man in charge of the Vistani who was desperate to find his daughter Arabelle. You told him he would find him, you would find her, tracking her to the water's edge of Lake Zarovich. There, you found a couple of canoes on the shore, with one canoe out in the center of the lake, piloted by a man that you did not recognize, holding a squirming sack. You raced your way out to the middle of the water, not in time before the sack plunged into the water. A couple of you diving deep down in the water to find a daylight spell from Petra illuminating the way before finding the sack and rescuing the girl. As you were taking the girl back to shore, you found that this man who had done this, a man without a soul, briefly possessed by a hag, who gave Sal a nice treat and then was beheaded by Gabe, in penance for his actions of trying to drown a small child, of course. As you rescued Arabelle, she turned out to be precocious, mature 8-year old who seemingly has some ability to see the future or read the Taroka cards in a way that Madame Ava did. She took each of you aside and gave you a vision that slightly expanded on your initial vision from Madame Ava. Um, you, Richard, perhaps finding out that you might, in fact, be Vistani yourself, having a traumatic vision of yourself very, very, very young in the midst of a battle, overturned carriage, flaming bodies, a hooded figure destroying the people around you before getting whisked away by a woman with red hair and a wooden leg. Your As you took Arabelle back to her father, he was overjoyed with happiness, gave you a couple of gifts, including some gold, potion, and a little automatron, a robot creature named Piddlewick II, that's kind of dressed in Jester's costume, with you can hear the gears inside of him clinking, just kind of silently, wordlessly, sitting there. You're in the midst of the celebration of the knights. Gabe and Richard had a heart-to-heart in the middle of your room, and Sal, as you fell asleep, the door opened to find little Piddlewick the second, all 2 feet of him, waddling into your room on his own accord, a move that you had not seen him do, and he got into bed with you and snuggled. Um, but we are not going to start there because Richard, you, uh, this is about, I would say, midnight or so. This is right before you were about to go to sleep when you saw a figure in your room. Tall, handsome, all clad in black. Uh, this you would recognize to be Strahd. He stands in the darkest part of your room, just barely visible from some of the moonlight from the outside of the outside of your window. He looks at you, kind of cocks his head, smiles, gives you a nice smile, and he says, "Good evening, Theodore. I mean you no harm."
You know, I don't usually allow men in my room without them buying me a drink first.
He does not give any facial expression at all to that other than his kind of stoic half grin. And he says, "You know, I am the ruler of these lands. And you and your party have made quite a name for yourself here. So, as the gracious host that I am, I wish to know more about you. And tell me, what is your purpose here?"
Don't think we really have a purpose. We were on our way to do, a typical adventuring job, and then we ended up in your land, unable to leave.
You don't have a purpose, yet you have come here, you have destroyed Bone Grinder, you have destroyed Valaka, you take the girl with you where you want. It seems like you have a purpose whether you know it or not.
Well, again, we can't leave. So I'm told you don't let anyone leave. So therein lies the problem. Just let everyone leave and it's all be solved.
Theodore, this is not a problem for you, a proud Vistani as yourself. The Vistani people mean a lot to me, and you, as well as them, are free to leave.
I'm not Vistani. I'm certainly not proud of it.
He starts like pacing a little bit in your room back and forth as like trying to understand your words. He's almost offended when you say that you're not proud of it. And he looks back to you and he says, "Well, whether you know it or not, you are special, Theodore. How about this?" He kind of looks around. "As a gesture of my hospitality, I invite you and your party to dinner at my castle tomorrow night. You will get free transportation there, and you have my word that you will not be harmed. This will be a cordial meeting. You are clearly a powerful group. I am the ruler of this land. It is nice for us to meet and understand each other."
It's not a no for me, but there are some others that need to be probably convinced. And we do need some more assurance than just your word, if you don't mind me saying, that none of us will be harmed, and that you won't be holding any of us longer than we intend to be there.
"My word is the only assurance that you need. I am the ruler of these lands. Everything goes through me. Now, if I tell you it is so, it is so. Tomorrow night, it is rude to not accept." He stands up. "Now, I will take my leave." And he disappears into smoke in your midst.
Oh, this is not going to be good. I'll get up and I'll go to where Gabe's room is and knock on his door.
All right, it's Gabe, you're all staying in kind of individual one room buildings around this big Vistani camp. Kind of a not shoddily, but quickly, hastily made structure made out of wood. Uh, Gabe, as you're settling in for the night, you hear a knock on your door.
I would be maybe I had enough time to do this. I'm curious. I would be like currently just going through the chest and like dividing up the gold that is in the chest.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Um, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm sitting like on the floor, just making four piles, and I go to the door pretty quickly, and I like open it just a crack. And Richard, you see Gabe there with his left hand kind of like gripping his battle axe's handle.
Hello.
Oh, hello. And he opens the door and just walks in.
So, Strahd was just in my room.
What?
Yep. Pretty civil chat, actually. He wants us all to dine with him tomorrow. Gave his word that we would not be harmed. So that was the only thing that mattered.
And this was not a vision or a dream in your mind.
Nope. Very much real.
You don't have to talk like that around me anymore.
What do you mean, darling?
How are we supposed to get to him in a day's time?
He's giving us trouble. Complimentary.
How?
That's about all he said. Free travel to his castle.
To me, that sounds like we don't really have a choice to say no.
Sort of the impression I got as well.
Well, good. Saves us some time.
Suppose tell the others?
We can wait until morning. There's nothing we can do now.
It's not exactly something I would want to spring on them the morning of.
Sure. And I walk out inside the hallway.
You take Petra, I'll take Sal?
Yep. I mean,
All right, you split. Gabe going over to Petra's area. Petra, um, I am going to quickly go back to your vision with Arabelle.
Okay.
Now that you're here. Um, uh, Perhaps as you're laying in bed, this moment with Arabelle replaying in your mind, of you and your three compatriots with Arabelle sitting on the beach of a nighttime lake. The lake itself is still, dark, mirrory. It's reflecting the massive mountain behind it. Somewhat beautiful place to have a Taroka card reading. But Arabelle, um, Petra, can you roll a d20 for me?
17.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Arabelle has pulled a card for you. It is depicts a vast graveyard. You see headstones, wrought iron fences, mausoleums kind of dotting this massive hillside. But the entirety is covered with thick rolling fog. And this card is called Mists. And Arabelle takes your hand, Petra, and you have a vision. You see Rudolph van Richten, the legendary monster hunter. He is a old man, maybe in his late 70s, human, kind of scraggly white beard and balding head. He is sitting at the front of a carriage, a wagon. And as he does, he is traveling rapidly down streets that you would recognize to be of the Valley of Barovia, perhaps streets that you have once traveled in your brief time here. He seems disheveled, though. He seems worried. He looks like he has just been either crying or has not slept in a while. And as he's driving this cart recklessly down the road, he reaches into a satchel and pulls out a flask, a potion, uncorks it and downs it, kind of grimaces to himself, like wipes off some of the excess from his mouth, takes a deep breath, and continues on into the distance to places that you recognize to be Valaki, but you do not know when this vision had occurred. And you're suddenly thrust back to the beach. Um, you're a little confused by this vision, I would say, because first of all, Van Richten, or at least the Van Richten that you know is very, very orderly. He has everything that he always has neatly by his side. He's always prepared for every single situation, no matter what it is. But this Van Richten was not that. He was flustered and scatterbrained. Um, and you don't, Arabelle doesn't seem to know when this happened or what its meaning is, but at least you can confirm that Van Richten is somewhere here, or at least was at one time. As you're laying in your bed, Petra, reflecting on that, there's a knock on your door.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Petra. Sorry to wake you or bother you for the evening.
I was just doing my evening prayers meditation.
It's been... There's quite a lot to meditate on. I hate to give you another thing. Apparently Richard was just visited by none other than Strahd himself.
What? And I immediately run to my my silvered maul and pick it up and start heading out the door.
He's
before.
apparently already gone. He has invited us for dinner tomorrow night. Says that he will provide travel for us. Didn't specify how, which means he knows how to find us, which means I don't even think we can say no.
Well, what a saint this devil is.
Isn't it? It's obviously either a trap or a display of power, but as frustrating or annoying as it is, I think it does make sense to go. Even if all that we accomplish is gathering information.
He's made it clear that kind of no matter where we are, he can find us and touch us easily.
Exactly.
I don't like walking right into his place of power, but I agree that we need to wield as much information as possible. I will think on this and try and do as much preparation to help keep us safe.
Petra, what have we found ourselves in, friend?
I know not, but I will share this with you because it has been on my mind. You know, at least know of my previous master, the one who trained me in our ways. He was excommunicated for being a bit too bold with the ways that he serves. But the reason why I'm here, the purpose, I think, for us being here, all being somewhat different, but unified into one thing that is ceasing the grip that this devil has on this land. Van Richten is here somewhere. He left a message for me that he was seeking out some powerful entity and then disappeared. I went to where I knew he was last staying and found nothing really other than a note and a few baubles of his, but the vision that I had when Arabelle spoke to us was that he is here and alive somewhere, or at least that's what I assume. I don't know that he'll have any more answers, but I know that he would be an ally to us, especially in this place. He,
Of course.
acts with zealousness, but none hates evil more than he.
I think in a place like Barovia, one can forgive one for being zealous. Well, yes, in my vision from Arabelle, there was in the asylum that's in Kresk. Somehow, I'm supposed to be able, and I feel like I will be able to get my hands on a sword that seems to be powered by the sun of our Lord. And with such an item, I would not fear Strahd. But tomorrow, and for me to be saying this, you know it to be true, we should be careful. We shouldn't act aggressively.
No, I think he seems to be quite clever and quite powerful, and I think a provoke of his fury would end this soon. But if we could play the part, and
I agree with you. I mean, it was something I was talking to Richard about. There was probably maybe a time in my life where I struggled with believing in something like destiny or fate, but not anymore. I mean, the chances of us finding ourselves here, you and me, Richard's from my past, Salvatore clearly knew someone that was here. I mean, it was all put together. I agree with you, Petra. We must stop him at all costs.
I'm glad that your mind is on this as well. I think we do need to be careful, and not just tomorrow, but as we progress.
Yes.
These people are held hostage here in this land, and while I think by any means necessary we should remove this devil, I think we do need to be mindful of the impact that we have on the communities that we're touching.
Agreed. We need to make sure that when we make our move, we are incredibly prepared to do so.
Tomorrow's not that day.
It's not.
But
And I will ask you, selfishly, in case my weakness rears its head again, to remind me of that tomorrow, should you need be.
you do the same.
I suppose we should get our rest.
Yes. We can all come together tomorrow to talk about the next steps.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Walk away. And I would go back to my room and just continue counting the gold until I went to sleep.
All right, Richard, you head over to Sal's door and knock on it.
Wake up, handsome. Got some news for you.
Piddlewick sits up like a light. Is like looking around.
Everything's fine, little buddy. Everything's fine.
Holds onto your hand.
Who's
Come on
in
in,
there with you?
Richard. You remember that? It's easier if you just come out in.
I opened the door.
Holy shit! Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's so cool! Is he what? He like,
Crawl,
what? Did he come in here
crawl
with
right
you?
to bed. Crawl right to bed with me.
That is. I'll get like my face right up close to Piddlewick's. That is so cool. Hello.
Kind of looks at you.
I don't think it speaks, but
It's
it's pretty
amazing.
warm at night. I don't know.
I think it's so cool.
Is it-
I'll like offer up my hand to like shake its little hand.
It kind of looks at you, and then looks up at Sal like, "What do I do?"
Come on, little buddy. Don't be disrespectful. Shake the man's hand.
He gives you a limp handshake.
Oh man, this is amazing. You're my new best friend. Oh, right. Anyway, so Strahd was just in my room.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
so we're supposed to have dinner with him tomorrow. He's giving us free travel to there. Apparently it's supposed to be a super chill business meeting, maybe? I don't know. And she says that we're cool and that he's not going to kill us or hold us hostage.
Well, I mean, free meal in a castle sounds pretty nice.
Free dinner.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough lately. Haven't had a good meal, and I can't remember when now.
Really? What about earlier today on the boat?
That's more of a necessity.
We
I
really
don't
need to-
want to eat. I don't want to do it.
I would really hope that you're not actively looking for children baked into pie.
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay.
It's more of like a need, like a hunger. You know?
That is. Sorry, just processing that.
I
Yeah.
don't feel like myself without it.
So the other day, what was that? 2 days ago, when you first had the pie. So that was the first time you've. Was that the first time you've had that? Was that the first time you? Was that the first
Fiddle
time you?
crosses his arms. Looks at you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever had not to my knowledge. Tasted familiar, but in a different way.
Okay. So, you know what? I'm not a therapist. Not really. It's not really my gig. But just to let you know, you were someone for a long time before you had that pie. So you do know who you were before you had that. So just keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
I don't want this to be who I am.
No, exactly. This is just like, but like, don't get in this mentality of like, I don't know who I am without it because, you know, this has just been you for a couple of days. You know, it's like a crazy
Right.
weekend, right?
I'm sure I'll shake it off. I'm sure.
You
That
don't
was the
want to
last
shake it
one
up.
for
No, we
sure.
need to get you like professional help.
I
But,
think I'm all right. I feel great now.
You're really not. But that's a problem for. Strangely, on like the list of our problems, you being addicted to eating children is kind of low on that for right now.
Yeah.
But all right, you get back to sleep. Good to see you, little fella. You're so freaking cool. All right, I'm going to go. Oh, he's so cool. I'm gonna go get some sleep. All right.
Hey,
Goodbye.
if you want to join the cuddle puddle, you're more than welcome. It's.
I think that'd be a bit crowded with, you know, two full human people and a giant bird that's molting and a rad little puppet fella. I think that'd be a bit of a crowd. All right, you all get some sleep.
Yeah.
Head on out.
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Don't eat children.
All right, you chow down on the child.
Yep.
As you, Richard, go back to sleep, you all gain the benefits of a long rest. Sal, I am going to say that you spent some time in the night reading through the Tome of Strahd.
Yeah. I was gonna wake up early and do it.
So I have it's a big entry thing, diary, basically a diary entry that I'm going to share with you. It is kind of long, so I'm going to let you read it at your own leisure if you want, and it'll be up to you what you share with the rest of the group, or if you want to read it out loud to the rest of the group, whatever you want to do. I'll let you do
Okay.
that. But you should find that in your Roll20. All right, you all are awakened in the early morning by the sound of a celebration of the Vistani. There is suddenly lutes playing and people dancing and people singing, and it is a crazy celebration that is happening in this Vistani camp. In fact, people are knocking on your doors to like get you to come out to celebrate as the people who saved Arabelle's life. If you choose to go out, you can see Irina is already out. She is like having fun, like kind of dancing with some of the Vistani. There's breakfast that's being served by all the people, running around and singing. You see Luvash, the leader, is doing is in the midst of like a square dance with another Vistani male that's you've never seen before, and they're just laughing, having a good time. Arabelle.
This is first thing in the morning, right?
This is like 8 a.m.
Great.
All right, you're free. You're all free to live your day. What do you do?
Well, first of all, how much gold does everybody get?
If it's 1,200, that's 300 between the
Oh,
both of
did
us?
we already know how much it was in?
It was in the box.
Yes,
Okay,
It was
cool.
1,200.
1,200. Yes.
Yeah, so Gabe would. Well, I guess like, are we find each other for like breakfast?
I would
Yeah.
like wait down like in the main.
Yeah.
We all wake up
Yeah.
and exit at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Like a sitcom opening.
Here
Yeah.
you go. 300 gold for all of you.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Huh.
This is the most gold I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
At one time. Not everybody grew up rich. I don't know.
Neither did I.
I mean, yeah.
Didn't run in the greatest circles. So I'm assuming we all heard about what happened in Richard's room last night.
The straw bit, just to clarify specifically what we're talking about.
What else would we? Oh,
You're okay.
Yeah, no, he was just like, oh, I want you to eat. I'm just kind of just doing a bit vague approximation with the accent. He was like, you must come to dinner with me and blah, and you will be safe and stuff. My word is everything. So I was like, oh, do you want like to do like a spell to like, protect us? And he got really angry and just disappeared.
Yes. Glad to hear that you're well, and I do think that how we choose our words will greatly determine our safety.
Point of question, is Arena coming with us? 'Cause I feel like that'd be a bad idea.
I was also going to bring up, and I also think that it is not a great idea.
No, I think
What?
he desperately wants a claim on her, and
Where does she go?
That's the thing, is I don't really exactly want to leave her.
Well,
and
would
have
she
him-
fall under? I mean, trusting the devil's promise is idiotic, but would she fall under those promises?
The last time that they were around each other, she sort of went into a trance.
True, but he did readily. I didn't tear her from his arms. He released her to me.
Why don't we see what she wants to do?
I think it's a good.
Oh yes.
Good idea.
As you're having this conversation, Arabelle runs up to you, who, to remind you, is hold on, let's see. I might. Oh,
that's
never mind.
The stream scene put away.
Yes. Arabelle is a 8-year-old Vistani girl who, like, you've met before, obviously very mature for her age. She runs up as you're having this conversation on the outskirts, and she says, What are you doing, you silly bellies? It's time to have a celebration. You are the heroes. You saved me. The least you can do is dance with us.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yay! She grabs your arm and she starts to pull you into the dance circle.
Let's go,
So-
Piddlewick.
What the fuck?
Isn't he cool?
Of course,
Um,
that makes sense.
I don't know my feelings on this doll yet. He
He's so
has-
cool.
I can't spare any on them.
Mm,
Let's dance.
Arabelle looks at Piddlewick and then looks to you, Sal, and she goes, Hold on a second. You have another cute little child in your party?
Yeah, except this one's made of a hunk of metal. But yeah,
She looks at Piddlewick and she looks back and says, My father has had this for a while and he always calls it a piece of junk.
oh, come on, don't insult the little fella.
No, and he doesn't hear. Can he hear? She looks at him.
Yeah.
He looks back at her and like arms folded. She looks back at you. So, oh my goodness! I did not know that this thing could talk. Or what? It
Well,
can't
I
talk.
can't talk
Okay,
yet.
that's
I don't
good.
know. As of yesterday, it couldn't move.
Well, maybe this will talk. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right, Sal. She grabs you and then pulls you into this dance circle. And there's like 4 or 5 Vistani women who are grabbing you and pulling you and twirling you and feet, like literally like shoving food into your mouth. And they're apologizing profusely for not having any wine to give you.
It's 8 a.m. It's more than fine.
Luvash, who's doing a little dance with someone, goes over to you, Richard,
Hello.
and he slightly pulls you aside, and he says, hello there. I hope that the accommodations were to your liking.
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent. Just so you know, so everything is not weird. What happened yesterday was just a one-time thing.
Yeah, totally good.
Of course, I am the leader, and I was excited because we found my girl, and I'm not to say that it wasn't bad, or it was bad, or anything, but I was just saying that there's no... Just wanted to make sure no feelings attached. And now that that is out of the way, I've been thinking about that, it is out of the way, please come and join and dance with us.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Have you been... I mean, was it... Sorry, just so I'm not, just so for my ego, it was good though, right? You had a good time?
Yeah, I did. Did you?
Okay. Oh god, yeah, of course.
Here's I don't think I've showed this to you. This is what he looks like.
Nice.
He's a little more angry in this picture than he is in this, but
Pretty cranky.
he shoos you away. Irina takes a second to find you, Petra, in the midst of like the dancing. And she says, "Oh, Petra, it's good to see you. Are you going to partake in some dancing with us?"
I'll be honest, it'll be nice to take my mind off where I currently am.
Well,
If you're dancing, I'll dance with you.
please. These Vistani people are very forceful dancers, and I just kind of like to do my own thing a little bit on the floor. She kind of pulls you into a dance. You take the time to gallivant and eat to your heart's content inside the Vistani camp. These people are treating you very well. Obviously, word has gone around that you have saved Arabelle's life, and they are supplying you with whatever you need. After about an hour and a half, the party starts to die down a little bit. You can see
9:30 in the morning.
in 9:30. I mean, you think it's going to pick back up in a few hours for sure, but at least in this moment, people are kind of heading off into their own camps.
That was the breakfast party. Then we'll have the lunch party.
Yeah. Yep. You can see some of the Dusk Elves who are periphery to this. None of them joined into any of the dances, but they're not, admonishing anyone. They're just kind of standing in by themselves on the edge of the Vistani camp. No Vistanis really seem to pay them mind, but are obviously letting them stay within their camp. Things begin to calm down. You all four with Irina kind of find yourselves together in the midst of the dead Vistani camp.
I probably would have found Gabe towards the end of it. So, sulking at a party.
Gabe's dancing.
Oh, lovely. I'll find you. I'll move to up to you. Enjoying yourself?
Yes, actually, I am.
Lovely. It's always so nice when you smile.
What do you want, Richard?
What do you mean?
Do you need something?
I'm just checking in on you.
Who is checking in on me?
Not sure what you mean. It's just me. The one you prefer, isn't it? This is the me you like.
No, it's not.
Oh, don't be like that.
Sorry
Come
to
on,
disappoint.
isn't things just so much easier this way?
I spent my life choosing to do the things that were easy, and it made me lose so much of myself. And the one thing that I ended up learning is that the harder thing is usually the right thing to do. I'm not sulking. I'm enjoying myself. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But if this is the person that's going to talk to me, I don't really care to hear what they have to say.
Look, if you're going to be mad at me either way, at least let me be the fun one while you are.
You can be whoever you want to be. That's not my decision. But this is the person who lied to me. And I don't really have an interest in speaking to people who lied to me.
You either get a liar or a murderer. Which one do you want?
Well, as a murderer myself, I'm not one to judge.
No fun like this.
I'm not trying to be fun. I'm not trying to disappoint you, and I'm sorry that you feel that this game that you want to play, I'm not playing correctly. I am a person with feelings, and I'm unashamed of that. And I am who I am, with all my faults, and I lay it out there on the table. And I care about you. Or, I guess I should say I care about your friend.
I'll lean in really close. Well, aren't you noble? And I'll back away.
I think that Gabe gets mad and walks away. And he goes up to Salvatore, and he has his real like, I don't need you moment.
Hot girl 90 dancing.
Yeah, just losing myself in it.
To a lute.
Yeah.
Arena pipes up and says, "Okay, so I guess we're heading west towards Kresk, right? We should probably get on the road."
There's something we need to talk to you about, Arena.
We have to have a team meeting.
Let's all go over there in that quiet spot.
Okay, you go over into
Dance over
the
there.
soundproof room. Okay, you have a moment, just the five of you by yourselves. She looks at you a little worried and confused. What's going on?
Richard?
Oh, all right. I guess I'm looting this. So Strahd was in my room last night, and he forcefully invited us to dinner. And by us, he just means the party. So I believe that's myself, Gabriel, Salvatore, and Petra. Supposed to dine with him at his castle tonight. And he says that this is just, a meeting to get to know us or something. He says that he's not going to harm us, essentially.
Are you going?
Doesn't seem like we have much of a choice.
I can't go to the castle.
No.
That's what we thought.
Good.
We want to keep you in as safe a place as possible, but it has also been made clear that he can kind of touch us, reach us wherever we are.
But he does seem to relatively leave these Vistani people alone.
Finding a place for you that you'd be the most safe, either here or if there's some place that we can get you to today, then we'll take you wherever you wish to go.
Irina looks a little rattled by this. She takes a deep breath and she says, I'll stay here with the Vistani. I think this is safe. It'll be safe. I been thinking about confrontations with him for a while, and I don't know, once we're here, it's too sudden. I don't know. I don't want to be a burden either. I will stay here. You all be safe. I don't know if his word is true, but he is obviously dangerous, and you're walking right into the beast's mouth.
You have a history with Strahd? Have we gotten into that at all? We did? All right.
Yeah, when we were introduced to her, her brother was like, Strahd has her under his spell and like.
And
Gotcha.
He's
has
obsessed
been-
with her.
and
she's
was
been
obsessed
bitten
with her.
twice,
Yeah, she's been. We saw her bites.
and she'll
I-
fall to like full corruption, kind of being under his spell irrevocably.
That's why we were looking for a safe space for her to begin with.
Church.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She nods to Petra and Gabe's explanation and says, I never even had seen him before just a few weeks ago. He came in the middle of the night and he bit me, and then he sent things to attack my father's house and then bit me again, and that's when you came. I have no more history than a man terrorizing me in the night.
Does the name Taliana mean anything to you?
She shakes her head.
All right, never mind.
Arena, this might be a complete long shot, but just in the interest of keeping you safe. Last time you two were face to face, you sort of seemed to go into a trance. And maybe in the interest of preventing that from happening again, and again, this is a total long shot. Perhaps you could spend some time with Arabelle. She seems to have some ways of putting up some sort of mental something. I think that if there's anyone in this town that could possibly teach you how to buffer yourself against a negative force, it could be that little girl.
She nods and seems to perk up a little bit at that. I think Arabelle is an incredible young woman. I know that Arabelle and a few of the Vistani are heading west to Kresk to find her uncle Aragal. I guess I could go with them out on the road. I mean, I'd still be with the Vistani. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Kresk. I would go to Vallaki, but it's, well, I shouldn't go to Vallaki.
No.
Maybe no one should.
I'll
That's the place to shit on that.
I'll reach into my bag and I'll produce one of my old daggers, not the silver one that Petra gave me, one of my old daggers, and I'll hand it to Arena, just in case.
Thank you. And I know this is a long shot, but if you're going to the castle, I know it's not the same place, but if you do ever see my brother Ismark, just tell him I said hi, and I know that he's doing a good job as the burgomaster of the village of Barovia. Petra, before I forget, and Petra, she pulls out of her satchel like 3 little bottles of ointment, kind of like this whitish, almost like waxy ointment. And she gives this to you, which I will show and read. This is a Irina's Energizing Salve. It has 3 uses total. When the wielder of this ointment provides healing and is within 5 feet of the recipient, you can use a free action to apply this ointment. If they do, the recipient of the healing gains maximum number of hit points possible and an extra 10 feet of movement until the end of the next turn.
Wow.
That's cool.
So yeah, you just need to be within 5 feet, but you can cast, for example, you can cast like a healing word spell, which is more than 5 feet, but this would still work if you were within 5 feet of them. Even though it's not.
And it's nice that it's a free action.
So you could cast like she could cast like a 3rd level cure wounds, and you would get like all that.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Long and the Deep Sea Challenger
That's cool.
as kind of like this is what he saw as
God. So sorry.
No worries.
For a second, I thought that was my voice.
I
I was like,
It
am I
is-
narrating?
No,
That came from Piddlewick.
Sophie has an AI Matt's voice, text to speech.
Piddlewick is picking up on radio transmissions.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
From our world.
Yeah, from the real world.
Okay.
2002.
Arena gives that to you, Petra, and she gives you a hug, and she says, I want you all to be safe. I know you will be, but I don't think this will be the last time we see each other, but I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and for the hope of these people. I hope this is a happy ending, but I think it will be with you all. All right.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm sure this will come in handy.
We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah, we'll
come
meet
find
you in Kresk.
In Kresk.
Okay. Yeah.
Kresk.
Meet me in Kresk. I
Kresk.
hope I hope they have some clothing stores there or anything of use there. I've never been. I would love to, get a different out wardrobe, maybe pick up a few hobbies. I would love to go horseback riding. Do you think Kresk has? Probably not.
Just stay away
I
from the Abbey.
Hmm. Okay.
Stay away from the
I
Abbey.
would say trust your gut. You've been
Arena.
here longer than any of us.
Yes, exactly. I reach out and I grab her hand and I say, I feel like I'm putting my promise at risk, and I'm sorry that I can't stay with you, but I do think that this is the best option.
Your promise is not at risk. You've done far beyond what you need to, and I think this is the best option too. I I don't know if his invitation includes me, but I don't really want to find out.
We'll see you soon. And I give her hand a squeeze.
you have money, Irina? Do you need some walking around cash?
Good question.
She pulls out her pouch and she has 20 gold pieces. She goes, "I have 20. That's not too bad."
It's pretty good.
I'll give her 100.
Holy shit, Richard! Jesus Christ, you're throwing around money like that.
Well, look, it's not like there's been like a shopping center that we've seen here so far. I don't even know where I would spend this money.
There was a shopping center. It got burnt down.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
we
right.
destroyed that shopping center.
Well, regardless, I don't need it for now, and if she needs it, it's better that she has it.
Well, that's great. Very generous of you.
I'm a very generous person.
Thank
Well.
you. You are a generous person, despite the way you said that line.
All right. Weird way to receive a gift.
Gabe
You see-
laughs.
She turns around and she Arabelle, and Arabelle kind of runs over. She goes, "Hello, everyone." And Arena says, "Arabelle, is it okay if I come with you on your trip to Kresk?" And Arabelle goes, "Yes, of course you can come. This will be so much fun. I can tell you, I can give you a fortune every day." And Arena goes, "Ooh, okay, that's cool." And then Arabelle says, "And then, do you play chess?" And Arena says, "No." "Well, I can teach you how to play chess. We'll play this every single day." Daddy! You see Lubosh comes over, and Arabelle
Yeah, she and I have that in common.
Arabelle and Arena head over to head away to the opposite side, and you are left just the four of you alone.
I do think that just to be the most safe as possible, we shouldn't be here when Strahd finds us. We don't want to endanger these people. We should at least leave this place a little bit.
Do we know how she sent in horses or?
I have no
Said
idea, but I'm assuming
he just
he's
said
gonna find us-
transportation.
Yes, I'm assuming he's going to find us wherever we are.
I mean, he found me in my room last night. He'll
Mhm.
find us wherever we are.
So maybe we just get
Has-
out of here a little bit.
Anybody else talk to Strahd, or you did, Gabe? Right? You told us that, right?
I heard him very briefly. I have never talked to him in this capacity.
Petra, any communication with old Strahd?
None besides the guiding bolt I hit him in the face with.
That's right.
That was awesome.
It's true. Petra's really the only one of us that's actually come close to hurting him.
And that is of no surprise to me.
Well, best not to waste the day.
Perhaps we can talk plans, strategies?
Yeah, I think
Talking about-
getting away from this place, and if they are going to send transportation, and they're going to find us wherever we are, putting ourselves in a spot where maybe no one has to witness us consorting with.
Do we think this is sort of a dressy affair? Do we need to change it to something more black tie?
I think that would be it would be apt to dress for the importance of this.
I mean, does anybody have extra clothes? I'm just that's all I got.
Not to be an asshole, but nothing that would fit you.
Because I'm tall. That was kind of a mean thing to say.
I was
Richard,
gonna
but that's
say,
fine.
I know you said not to be an asshole, but
You could have just not said it.
We're just very clearly different sizes. He's much taller than me. It would look like he was wearing like a crop top.
I don't have anything that would fit you either, Richard. Not
No,
to
exactly.
Be a
It would look weird.
Yep.
People have different bodies. It's fine. We just don't. It's just
it's gotta
the
be
matter.
tough getting things over the horns now too.
Yeah, I got to cut
That's
holes.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
We haven't talked about that.
I was
have we?
thinking
Yeah.
that while we were walking away from the village, I was thinking that could be something that we chatted about. Yes.
Well, what do you want to know?
Listen,
what the
we
fuck?
all love you. But I did want to talk, and I look around for the doll.
It peeks out from behind Sal.
I wanted to say, weird things seem to not just be finding us, but perhaps you in particular. And I know wizards, learned in their ways, pretty prone to arcane maladies.
I've seen some fucked up shit. If that's what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Are you okay?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I feel fine. I feel great. I feel more powerful than ever. But there's the whole horns coming out of my head thing and the devil talking to me. But
and how do you feel about that and the demons coming out to defend you? And
that was awesome. I'm a big fan of that. I don't know if I could control it, that'd be cool.
I have to say, I am concerned, while also appreciative of their help in fighting those other demons.
Yeah. I think I am half demon now, or devil. I don't really know which one.
As you say that, Sal, as you're kind of all walking down the street outside of the Vistana camp, a carriage pulls up down the road. It is a all black, sleek carriage pulled by two large black horses, and there is no driver. You do not see anyone on top, but the carriage, as you're walking in the street, pulls up and stops right next to you, and the door to the carriage swings open the creak, revealing an empty interior.
What are the odds this is for us?
I think the odds are pretty good, my friend.
It's a bit early, but
Good. I don't want to wait for this any longer.
How far away is it? Do we know? I mean, this thing could get us there in 10 minutes. We'd really have no idea.
Well, you know that when you're on foot, you saw a crossroads on your way to Vallaki. That one way went to Castle Ravenloft, one to Vallaki. That was about 4 hours on foot, and then you could see the castle in the distance from that. You would guesstimate it was probably 8 hours on foot, but with the carriage, it's probably way quicker.
All right, well, time's wasting.
yeah, probably should get changed. I'll start kind of undressing and pulling out a new a gold silk shirt with a busy collar, and putting it on.
Nice.
You look very nice, Richard.
Thank you.
You're immediately soaked because it's pouring rain.
I would wait until I'm in the carriage.
Yeah, gotcha. If you step inside the carriage, it is very, very finely appointed velvet seats, comfortable, 4 of them, kind of spaced out evenly. There is 2 bottles of wine sitting in the center console, and glasses for each of you, if you so partake.
What kind of wine is it?
This wine is something you've never seen before. It says Chateauneuf Le Pop.
Does that mean anything in a different language that I know?
Make a history check.
Okay. 11.
Oh, sorry. It's actually Chateauneuf Le Stomp, not Le Pop. Le Stomp. This is, you don't recognize this at all, but the label on it is very fancy, and you get the feeling that this is a special vintage of some sort.
This is really good wine. Anybody want some?
Yeah, sure.
If he was going to kill us, I don't think he'd do it with a bottle of wine sent by a magic carriage.
I don't think so either.
I prefer old cat wine.
Yeah, the as you taste the wine, it's incredible, truly incredible. Obviously, a special saved vintage that is it's probably been saving for a while.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm half devil.
I'm cool with it. You two probably have the bigger issue, though.
I would have an easier time being okay with it if it didn't happen, 2 days ago. I trust you, Sal. You seem to have your mind. Well, that look doesn't inspire.
I do have my mind. The devil does want me to release him into this realm.
Into this realm or our realm?
I mean, I guess he didn't specify. I would think this realm. I've heard people talk about the Amber Temple. I think that's what it was called. I think that's where that's where the devil wants me to go.
But surely a man of your intelligence knows that that's not a good idea.
Right.
Also,
yeah.
Didn't those elves we met also were looking for the Amber Temple?
Yeah.
And they said that like the key to defeating Strahd was in there as well.
Right. So that got me thinking if we can release the devil to fight the devil. And of course, he could probably hear me right now, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
Perhaps we shouldn't talk about
Our plans inside.
Anything received from Annabelle or the other old woman.
I mean, you don't think he can hear us at all times if he really wants to?
I'm not sure, but I'm 100% sure he can hear us in his carriage.
That's a good point.
As we talk about the Amber Temple, I do also just like reach in my pocket and like just not even pull it out, just like grip the amber pendant that I have.
What now?
Slightly warm to the touch.
Yeah.
As you're sitting in the carriage, it's moving, although there's no driver, and you can feel it kind of creaking upwards. The castle sits on the top of a large pillar of rock, so you're traveling up the mountain on craggy roads. But you're
can
not
we
there yet.
see out the windows?
Did we move incredibly fast or?
No, it seems like this carriage is moving at the normal rates. You're traveling up some of the roads that you actually have just walked down on your way to Vallaki.
I guess we were on foot.
Did we pass that like western gate?
You have not yet.
Okay.
You can look out the windows, the valley of the Barovia now down below you as you travel up and up the vast seas of trees and two large mountains with lakes. And coming into view over top of the mountain, you see the awesome sight of Castle Ravenloft peeking the horizon to the front.
When I see that it's in sight, sorry, Matt. When I see that it's in sight, just very quickly, I would grab my holy symbol and like wave my hand over my battle axe, and it glows slightly, and I'm just going to cast magic weapon on it, just in case. Sorry.
If we've had like an hour, like, because I'm assuming we traveled for a bit, could I add a first level spell from that addendum to the tome? Okay.
Yes, you can, for sure.
Sweet. Say what you will about Strahd, but he's got style.
Oh yeah, he's actually like really kind of hot actually up close. Like from an objective standpoint, that's all I'm saying.
I'm sure that there are those who find the devil attractive. I think that is part of his toolbox, right? The way he tempts people. Not trying to be an asshole, but I do see it as a weakness in you, Richard.
Oh no, you're totally right. Not an asshole at all.
This is not a judgment about how you comport yourself around anyone else, by the way. Just this person in particular.
No harm, no foul. Totally good. He doesn't look that dissimilar to Gabe.
Oh,
They both have this sort of tall, dark, and square jaw thing going on.
Well, if you should have any inklings that you cannot dispel on your own, perhaps Gabe could help you with that.
anyway, I was talking with Petra last night and expressed my feeling that we are not ready to make a move on Strahd tonight. I think you two are probably aware of this and we're thinking the same thing, but I just want to make sure we lay it out there. I think we talk to the man and have a conversation and see what comes of it.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to make a move tonight.
Yep.
I mean, I could barely hurt that werewolf back there without a silver dagger, so I'm really not going to be attempting anything tonight.
Oh, look, we're here.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
Holy shit.
All right. As your carriage suddenly takes a sharp a turn as it continues on the path directly outside of the castle, kind of winds through these craggy mountain paths. It is pouring rain, and the mists are sitting heavily upon these mountains, making it difficult to see much further than the road in front of you. Then suddenly the carriage comes to a stop. You kind of like look out the window, can't quite see anything because of the fog, but it seems like this is the end of the line.
Well, ready to have some dinner?
Let's do it.
All right, you step out of the carriage and see before you the startling, awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft, towering into the sky. It is massive, huge. It is now pouring heavily, streaks of lightning lighting the sky. There's a second where in the midst of the lightning, as it lights up the sky around the parapets of the massive castle, you can see bountiful bats flying out of one of the columns of the towers, screeching and crying into the night. Descending down, you can see 500 up to 1,000 feet below you is the village of Barovia, where you found Arena and Ismark the first place. Way down there, just a few sparkling lights in the midst of the dying city. The carriage, as you get out, does not move. The horses do not do anything other than snort some puffs of smoke out of their nostrils. In front of you, you see a lowered drawbridge leading you up to the front of the castle, past the large, almost crumbling stone towers that form the gate. The drawbridge itself is made out of, looks like rotting old wood that sits above the chasm that drops down thousands of feet into the mists below. The front of the castle, you see the front entryway. There are two torches that are flickering in the rain with two open and beckoning doors to the interior of the castle.
Well, is this it? Are we doing this?
Do we knock or?
Oh, you knock, don't you? You
Piddlewick?
turn around. Piddlewick shrugs. You see a creature. It is a man that stands 4.5 feet tall, maybe kind of crouched over in a hunched posture. This man is looks a little weird. You can see the left side of his face is covered with lizard scales, and he has the ears of a panther that are kind of tucked behind this hood that is protecting him from the rain. His left foot looks like a duck's webbed foot, and his arms have patches of black dog fur. Let me show you what this guy looks like.
I don't know if I want
Mutant.
And
Ooh.
he
Whoa.
kind of has his hands together and he looks to you
Oh.
and he says, "Oh yes, you're invitated from the master. Okay, okay, follow me, follow me. I'll show you to the master." And he pulls out a lantern and starts to like head down to the drawbridge towards the entry to the castle.
I need to know everything about this man.
Suppose we follow.
Some sort of hybrid creature.
Yeah. Kind of like me now.
As he's like kind of waddling towards the
Much better.
entrance, he turns to all of you and he says, "How was the carriage? I hope it was good."
Pleasure.
It was quite luxurious.
Nice,
The
nice
wine was-
velvet.
The wine was phenomenal.
Oh, that is, you should feel very, very honored. That is the master's private selection.
I am honored.
God, you should always be honored. He turns around and like you can see he's got a bunch of like pots and pans strapped to his belt that are clanging and banging around. And
Banging and
he leads you up towards the front of the castle. The front area are two massive iron doors that are into the side of the inner courtyards of the castle, into the interior of the main floor. They are open. You see two fluttering torches beckoning you inside. Inside of these two torches is a kind of vestibule, short area with two other doors that are closed that probably lead to the main chamber. And this creature that he hasn't told you, Cyrus, walks up and like steps inside the vestibule so he's out of the rain and waits for you all to kind of catch up so you're inside with him. And come on.
Once we're
As
inside, I'll
he
cast prestidigitation on myself to dry myself off. Anybody?
Yes, please.
I'd appreciate it. Yeah.
Sprinkle a little bit of magic on you. Just learned that one the other day.
It's very good.
Thank you. Learned it from
Okay.
the book.
Gabe's just like fidgeting with his holy symbol.
I'm going to try to move you to this map now.
Lol.
This map
Why do you need
is
that?
this
Wolf?
map is a big map, and
Oh, wow.
it might be laggy. So if it's laggy, I'll probably just
Is
move
it?
off. Of
Yeah.
it.
If it is the Ravenloft map, this thing's fucking huge.
I
Yeah.
got a
That's
graphics performance
ridiculous.
notification.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably might not work. I don't know. We'll see.
Wow. The
Um,
light working as you move the character is wild. This is so cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you should see your tokens over here, and you can see that if you move them, you kind of have some light.
Yeah.
So let's
wow.
see.
Cyrus, you must be carrying a lantern.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Cyrus moves in here.
Uh-huh.
I'll follow.
We'll,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm coming.
follow it and we get dried off.
Pow,
All right.
pow, pow.
Coming, sir.
Cyrus moves
I
in.
cast spells like Emerald Lagasse.
As he opens the doors into the main chamber, you can
Oh,
see it is
shit.
a great dusty hall with sputtering torches on the walls. They cast weird, kind of odd shadows across these large gargoyle statues that are in every crevice of this room. Over to your right, to the south, you can see there is a longer hallway, and you can hear faint organ music coming from that direction. As you enter this hall, straight ahead of you, there are two large double doors that lead to somewhere else in the castle. And to your left, you see a large stairway, grand, beautiful, arching stairway that goes up to the upper areas of the castle. And you see a man walking down the stairs. You would recognize him to be a dusk elf. It's the same kind of dusk elf of Casimir that you had met before. He is got the long pointy ears. He has a couple of scars on his face, but he is dressed in beautiful Chamberlain clothes. This is what he looks like. And as he comes down the stairs, quiet as a mouse, his robes kind of almost levitating across the steps as he steps into the great hall. And he looks to Cyrus and he says, "Cyrus, you may leave now." And Cyrus goes, But I want to take them to the kitchen. And this man said, Cyrus, you may leave now. And Cyrus goes, oh, stupid Rahadin. And he disappears down the way down south. And you actually see him disappear to the left down this hallway. This man that comes down the stairs, he says, my name is Rahadin, and I am the Master's Chamberlain. He kind of looks at you and he says, I see only one of you have made it known to dress properly for the Master's dinner. And he looks to you, Richard. The rest of you will need...
He didn't have any clothes that fit me.
Different sizes and he has horns. What am I supposed to do about that?
Interesting. I am half inclined to take you upstairs to get you dressed.
Ooh.
As he kind of steps down this room over towards you, Petra. When he gets close to you, you immediately sense something. The screams of thousands of people in agony that are now reverberating around your head. It seems like it's only when you're within about 30 feet of this man that this happens. It is distracting and horrific. You hear men, women, children, just people screaming as if they're in the last moments of life, just kind of faintly in the back of your head.
I struggle with that and am just fully kind of enveloped in it, wanting to play cool and also wanting to attack this man.
Yeah. Knowing the conversation that we had together, Petra and I, keeping each other in check, because if it's within 30 feet, I'm hearing this too. And so I just grab Petra's hand and give it a squeeze and show that I'm also struggling with this.
This man says, all right, before we go, follow me upstairs.
All right.
And he looks to all of you, and you see him walk up these beautiful stairways. In fact, actually, no, he would actually go this way. He would go down here.
Oops, sorry. Excuse me.
You guys all, as you make your way down this room, this hallway, you can see. Oh shit! You see how
he was eavesdropping.
I wasn't dropping in the leaves.
Over to as you come down the hallway. To your left, there's a stairway. It goes up and down. You see Cyrus disappear going down. To your right, there are two large doors, and you can hear from inside of those doors, you can hear sounds of organs, like a nice, beautiful organ playing.
Just squishing.
And you actually can smell food coming from that room. But Rahadin,
you have a band, like a house band or something?
He looks to you, doesn't say anything, and continues and goes over to the stairway that Cyrus went down and starts to go up the stairs. And he waits to make sure you're all following him.
I'm following you.
Okay. As you go up these stairs, I am going to take you to another map. Hopefully this works.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm so scared.
Okay. As you make your way up these spiral stairs. I am so scared.
So dumb.
Okay, so as you make your way up to these top rooms, you can see the first room that you come to. Rahadin goes up these stairs, passes an exit on the second floor, does not go, continues up. There's a third floor, passes that, continues up to the fourth floor, passes that, goes up further to the fifth floor, at the very top of the staircase, opens the door. You see a small little vestibule room. There is a portrait that you see that is big and loudly portrayed on this wall of you would gather to be Strahd in his general days.
I look nothing like him.
And yeah, he opens the door, and you see there is a lounge here. And further into a room to the back, you can.
Sorry.
There is a bedroom, like a guest room. You can see in this guest room there are 2 bunk beds set up in here, but the lounge has some couches. And seated in this room already, you see a woman. This is what she looks like.
What?
Oh,
I hate it.
Does she not have arms, or are they just not proper?
she has arms.
Okay.
She is.
where's her neck?
They're
she is in
coily
her,
behind
like-
her back, obviously.
Yeah, she's yes. She is in her early 20s. She's got these big kind of doe eyes, and she has a bunch of clothes she's like set out and laid out on the couch. And she goes, "Okay, oh my gosh, you're here. Oh, okay." And she pulls out a nice cloak and pants and goes over to you, Sal, and she goes, "Here you go, Sal. This is for you." And
Do you got anything for my little buddy over here? Point to Piddle. Hey, don't be alarmed. It means you no harm.
Oh no, I don't know. I didn't know about him. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid.
Hey,
Hold on.
don't be so hard on yourself. It's fine. You had no idea.
Gertruda, where's that language coming from?
It's a place of hate.
That's right. And is it productive? Is it good for us? Is it kind to ourselves?
What's happening?
You 2 know each other?
It's not kind. You're right.
I hate to see women be down on themselves.
You're right.
Oh no, for sure.
Well, I've got clothes for each of you, and thank you, Petra and Gabe. Well, Richard, you don't seem like you need your clothes, but
I will
and she gives you,
gladly
like-
take whatever you have. I'm sure you have excellent taste.
He's
She
got a
gives
very
you-
specific size, so not everything fits.
I have a tiny
well-
waist, but a giant ass.
specific sizes. Somehow Gertruda has clothes that are exactly tailored to your fit, and
That's
they're
the point.
nice. There are nice kind of slacks and capes for Gabe and Sal and Richard. A nice kind of formal evening gown for Petra. I don't know if that's your style, but that is what has been provided to you in this moment.
Petra, I'm like holding up my outfit and like looking at you, like, do I have to?
I am basically doing the same thing. It's like, at least you don't have to wear a dress.
Are you gonna do it? If you do it, I'll do it. But if you don't do it, I'll stand with you and not do it.
Yeah, I guess.
Fuck.
Yeah.
If I have time while we're all getting dressed, because I don't have it prepared, but is it possible to ritually cast detect magic? It would be 11 minutes.
I mean, yeah, you could do it. It might get
It's
cut
gonna
off.
take me 11
so-
minutes just to get my armor off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, you could probably do it.
So I just want to take a look at the clothes more so, make sure they're not going to
Okay.
wrap us.
All right, Fate. I mean, that's fair. As you're kind of seated in this room, getting dressed, Gertruda is kind of excited, and she introduces herself. My name is Gertruda.
Lovely to meet you.
Can you all make history checks for me?
Blatantly. 19.
5.
Gabe,
9.
what you got? 19, Sal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that your detect magic kind of you're ritually casting it kind of goes off in this moment. The portrait of Strahd that was in the opposite kind of vestibule outside of the stairs gives off conjuration magic. And you recognize the name Gertruda. There's a brief moment when you first got to Barovia where you were taking shelter inside of Irina's home, Irina and Ismark's home, and a bereaving woman came to the door and said that her daughter Gertruda was taken by the devil.
Mm. I won't say anything right now, but
Gertruda is like kind of doting over you, and she goes, "This is so exciting! You're here to dinner with the master. Oh, he is so nice."
Do you not
how long
speak
have
to the
you
master? Sorry.
how long have you been here, Gertruda?
Just a couple weeks, but it's like I've started a whole new life, and I can't imagine myself being anywhere else. Look how
Insight
beautiful the
check.
clothing is. Yeah, make an insight check.
I'm using the dice that Kelsey got me for. Okay, Kelsey
Can I
might
also
not.
do an
Kelsey
insight?
might not be using this dice much longer. 4.
She really likes Strahd, it seems like.
Cool.
I was going to say, can I also do an insight check or give advantage
Yes.
at least? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
I'll give you an insight.
So 21.
Couple things here that are slightly weird to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, she's definitely charmed for sure. Like
Yes.
she's not acting within her own volition.
One would say she's a charmed person.
She is a charmed person,
Okay,
correct?
cool.
But she's not a vampire. She is a human still for a reason. It's weird to you that a vampire as powerful as Strahd would charm someone for this long without turning them at least into a vampire spawn. But she's not. She doesn't seem like she has bite marks in her neck or anything. She seems totally fine.
He likes his toys.
As you're getting dressed, another person walks in this room. Rahadin, the Chamberlain, has left. Probably a relief because these screams in your head are, and he does not mention it at all. But
can everybody hear those screams?
Yep.
Can I hear those screams?
Oh yeah, you can. If you're within 30 feet of this Rahadin, he has these horrific screams. But a second person comes in, a young man in his maybe early 20s, kind of beautiful, long blonde hair. This is what he looks like. And he kind of comes into the room and leans against the door, and he's just kind of looking at all of you and like stroking his chin. And he says, "Ooh, you are a beautiful bunch to come to dinner. This is going to be fun, don't you think?"
Hello?
Sorry, my introductions. My name is Escher. He bows deeply and he says, "I live here in the castle under the protection of our master. He does not give dinners like this to just any people that come into Barovia. You must be very, very special. This is fun."
I walk up to Escher and I like gesture for his hand.
And he kind of looks at you and he says, "What do you have in mind, friend?"
I was just wanting to make pleasantries.
He gives you his hand.
I take his hand and I kiss the back of it and I say, "Gabriel, it's a pleasure."
When you grab his hand, it is cold and clammy.
Figured.
And he smiles at you, not hiding, but revealing his fangs of his teeth.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, this is a beautiful pleasure, Gabe. I assure you. It's been a long time since someone has kissed my hand like this. I should start telling people to do it more often."
And here I am
Does your
doing it for
master
free.
Does your master often have guests come by, or is this a rare occasion?
This is a rare occasion. It's good for me. We get some of the best wine to be served and some of the best meals. Not that I partake, but yeah, for you, this will be incredible, I assure you.
So
Now,
kind of you, Asher. How long have you lived here?
a few years.
It's beautiful, beautiful architecture.
Thank you. He walks up to you, Richard,
Oh,
and he says, "I've heard a lot about you. You're Richard, correct?"
yes, I am. What have you heard?
He takes your hand and does exactly what Gabe did to his hand.
Oh.
He grabs it and kisses the back of the hand. Only good things, I assure you. Now, please, the master is waiting and the first course is about to be served. Please follow me down to the dining room.
Please.
As we're following him, I'll like go up to behind Gabe a little bit. He's hot, right? Like he's really hot.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I know. It's really nice back. His shoulders are really strong.
He looks
it's
fake.
good. But like, I'm into it.
But in a hard way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm really into it.
Yeah. He's sculpted clearly by the gods.
If he was, no, I know that we're kind of in a weird place right now, but if he was like down, I would be down to like.
As you're having this conversation, Gertruda.
Gabe just like smirks but doesn't say anything.
Gertruda's behind you, and she goes, "Escher, can I join the dinner?" And Escher turns to her and says, "No, Gertruda, not right now. The master said that you should stay here. Get them ready. I believe that they might be staying the night." She goes, "All right." And she walks over and begins to like make the beds essentially, and Escher takes you all the way back down the 5 flights of stairs to the front room, to the first floor. And as you come to the landing that you had first came into when you walked into the castle, you see Rahadan there. You hear him before you see him. But he kind of looks to you, smirks a little bit, and opens the massive doors into this room, which I will do right now. All right, let's see.
Oh, look at this.
The roast beast.
All right, as you walk into this room, you can see this room is a large dining hall. Let me get this open. There's a lot of rooms in this castle. There are 3 massive crystal chandeliers that hang over this room. There are pillars of stone that stand against the dull white marbled walls. The center of this room has a long table. There are silverware set out and placemats and nice fine dinnerware set out for each of you. And at each table slot, there is a glass filled with a dark amber liquid.
I pull out the head of the table chair for Petra.
Okay. As you pull out the chair, you can see there are other people in this room with you. You can see Escher kind of slides past you and sits down in one of the seats. And you can see there are 3 women here. There are, I will show you all of them. A woman with red headdress, another one taller with a golden headpiece, and a third one with a kind of skull mask, all sitting in this room. The 2 tall ones in the red and the gold and the white are kind of chittering with each other as you walk in, they're kind of snickering and clearly talking about you as you kind of make your way into this room. There is a hush, though, because seated at the far end of the table with his back to you, playing at a massive organ, is Strahd.
Oh, that's dope. That's a good entrance.
He sits at the organ, blasting away as you take your seats. It seems like you have free reign to take whatever seat that you want in whatever way. I assume you all take a seat?
I'll sit next to Gabe.
Yeah.
Is there a chair for Piddlewick?
Richard, do you mind sitting between me and the bride, and I'll sit next to Petra?
Sure.
There's no chair for Piddlewick.
Sit in the lap. Have him sit on your lap.
Oh, look
I feel like that'd be rude.
He's a little guy. He needs to see.
Just go stand against the wall, Piddlewick.
Yeah, that's not rude.
Put your nose in the corner, Piddlewick.
Piddlewick kind of
like one of
looks
those
at
like
you.
little dolls that grandmas for some reason have in their house.
Dude, my parents had one of those. My grandma had one of those. They're called timeout kids.
Yeah. Those were the creepiest fucking thing.
They had no face.
I know, they're horrifying.
What are you talking about?
You've never seen those? Oh, wow.
No.
now's
in
not the time.
Amish,
We'll talk
in
about
Amish
it.
culture, dolls can't have faces, and so in the Midwest, it's pretty common for dolls to not
Oh,
have
God.
faces.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, when you say that to Piddlewick, instead of going over to the corner, Piddlewick stands with his arms crossed and looks at you and goes,
Little brat.
Piddlewick, it's important that we respect our hosts, and they didn't put a chair out, so you need to stand there at attention,
Petrovic
like
should
a
just
good,
sit-
good little boy.
sit in your lap.
Piddlewick looks to Richard and goes,
Just
And
sit
then-
him in your lap.
and then turns around and makes a big show of like stomping into the corner.
God, I don't like seeing him so upset.
Don't
Gabe
tell me how to
feels
raise my
embarrassed
child,
that this
Richard.
is happening while like this organ play
Yeah.
is happening.
Yeah.
Like clearly he's trying to do something and they're like not. Just imagining that actually happening, like super dramatic, blah blah blah, and then in the background, just have him sit in your lap. Like it's just so funny. To
In
me.
the like distraction of that, then maybe I would
Yeah.
like if the food is already out.
Detect poison?
There is food out. It looks like there's probably multiple courses, but there's currently like a nice lobster bisque out into the middle of the table and like rolls with butter and bread. A nice display.
I would like to purify food and drink. Then
I was this close to preparing detect poison.
Is that just? Would you just be able to purify all of this, or just yours?
it's 5 feet, so like
So mine too.
our
mine too,
side
mine
of the
too.
table. Maybe I don't know. Like
Mm.
feels like the table looks like it fits in about it. Like that
Yeah.
side
Okay.
of it at least fits.
Okay,
into,
I'll
like,
say, yeah, you can get everyone, at least your parties, within it.
Mhm.
Make a sleight of hand check. I'll give you advantage because of the
Sure.
Piddlewick thing.
'Cause the pills
It's
are
so
big.
redundant. I didn't like now that you've like said it like that. It's
It's just
so,
so funny to imagine. He's like really like giving it his all to intimidate us. Like,
I really care
It's-
about Piddlewick's feelings.
It's an
No, that's-
11.
oh no.
Okay.
With advantage?
Yeah.
You cast the spell. Can you make a
No.
make a Arcana check?
Sure. Better at that.
You,
Nope.
you actually poison all the food.
That is that is actually also an 11 too.
All right. You have successfully cast the spell, although your Arcana check reveals that you don't think it was poison to begin with.
Sure.
But as you're sitting down and Strahd still has his back to you, the woman that is seated right next to you, Petra, or Gabe, she kind of looks at you and kind of comes and looks like puts her head like right in your face, and she goes, "Who are you? You're big and handsome."
Well, thank you. I'm sure you're quite the looker yourself underneath that mask. My name's Gabriel Astrum.
She pulls the mask off to reveal a maybe early 30s woman, a human woman. She's got fine makeup on. Her mask is not hiding anything per se, and she looks to you and she goes, my name is Ludmila.
Ludmila,
It
it
is-
seems that I was wrong. There's not a looker underneath that mask. There's an absolute beauty.
That is so sweet of you. She turns to the woman to her right in the white dress, and they start to like chitter to each other alone. Escher kind of looks around to the table and looks to you, Richard, and he says, "Please partake in the biscuit. It's incredible. Some biscuits as well, please, all of you." And then he turns his
Oh,
attention
Dip
to
your
all of
biscuit in
you.
the biscuit.
Is that what you
This
recommend?
was-
Is this what you recommend, Escher? This is your favorite?
Oh, I don't eat, so I don't know. But
For dessert, we have some biscotti.
listen, unfortunately, our cook is Cyrus, that little rodent. But I can't deny that he is a pretty good cook. So,
Well,
please.
if it's your suggestion, I suppose I must try it first.
Um, as you guys are having this conversation, Strahd turns around to the table and kind of stands at the head of the table. And he looks at all of you seated around the table, and he puts his hands out. Welcome, my friends. I am Count Strahd von Zarovich, the Lord of Barovia, Master of Castle Ravenloft. Tonight, you are my guests, and no harm shall befall you while you remain in my home. I am a man of my word, and you have it. And he rings a little bell, and you see coming into the room is Cyrus Bellevue, and he goes, "Yes, master!" And he says, "Please, Cyrus, bring us some more wine. We don't have enough. Bring the Chateauneuf l'Estampe." Cyrus, "Yes, master," and leaves the room and walks downstairs. And he looks at all of you and he says, "Now, you may wonder why I have invited you here into my home, but I can assure you, we are both people of great power and influence. And as the ruler of these lands, I think it is beneficial if we understand where we are coming from. Now, you have been here for a few days now. In my lands, I have seen you. You have done a lot. But I'm curious. How did you get here?"
I suppose we were hoping you could answer that, Count.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Before we continue, I wonder if you could... I find it hard to find my appetite with the screaming. If you could dismiss your servant from beyond the doors.
Of course. Rahadin, leave us. And you see Rahadin, who is kind of sitting at the door, nods, doesn't say a word, and leaves.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, some people think that I bring people here into these lands on purpose. Perhaps there is some truth to that. Of course, as the ruler of these lands, it is my prerogative to do so. But you must have come through Madame Ava. Interesting. And he says, "Sorry, where are my manners? Let me introduce you." And he looks over to the people sitting at the table and says, "This is Escher. He has been here in my castle for many years. You must have met him when he came down to fetch you for dinner." Escher nods to all of you. "This is Ludmila, Anastasia, and Volenta. They are my brides. They have been with me for a long time. They do not bite."
Gabe's eyes go wide at the bride part.
The Ludmila and Anastasia are kind of like snickering to each other, but Volenta, the one in the red, is kind of silent. She kind of looks around, and Strahd says, "Now, I am curious to know what you think of me. I'm sure you have heard many tales of my ruling here, and don't worry, you will not offend me, but what do you think?"
I think you wield a mighty and previously to me unseen amount of power, and I'm truly in awe of it.
If I had to sum you up in one word, it'd be impressive.
I do wonder, how did you become ruler of these lands?
I was a general in my father's army, but I was not just any general. I conquered many lands. I took what was rightfully our family's for many years. And these lands were once ruled by forest folk, mountain folk, and they dared encroach upon our lands with their armies. So I took it from them, and I made it my own. And I built this castle upon the bedrock so that everyone will know that these lands are ruled by the Ravenlofts. Now, I have been here for a long time, and my parents are long dead. But that does not mean that these lands should not know that I am the one that rules it.
I can assure you, Count, they know.
He sits back and he says, let's have the second course. Cyrus. He rings the bell. Cyrus rings the bell. Takes a deep breath. He looks to Escher. Escher, find Cyrus and find the wine. We want the next course. And Escher nods and stands up. And he says, comes over to your table or to your chair, Richard. And he says, please, would you like to join me down on a mission to find Cyrus? I would love to take you.
Insight check.
Yep, insight check.
Fucking finally. Dirty 20.
He's really into you. And he's using this as a moment to get you alone. Although your insight check does not reveal that he's trying to do anything malicious.
Sure. Yeah. Be right. Guess I'll be right back. Gabe can also help with some stuff sometimes. Do you know he's actually a really good finder of things?
I'm sure he is. And then turns and leads you out of the room.
I'm just gonna go help find some wine.
We'll see you in a moment.
Strahd does not do anything to stop this, or doesn't seem perturbed that Escher is just asking Richard to also come along. It doesn't faze him at all. But as he kind of sits back, he looks to Gabe. He says, pardon me for being a little intrusive, but I just wish to know more about you. You are so fascinating to me.
I am.
See, you're a creature with the allegiance to the light, I see. But if I may be so bold, that is what cripples you. You are naive to know the nuance of the soul. You may think of me as a creature of only dark, but I am not. There are 1,000 shades to me, to any man, yet you only see two. So listen to me. He kind of leans forward to you, Gabe, almost across the table. And as he does, it's like he's completely drowning out everyone else at this table. It's like you're in this tunnel with him. And he's staring you in the eyes and he says, listen to me. Beyond our ideas of light and dark lies a field. We could meet each other there. You could join me, Gabe, to behold the universe, the inconceivable universe. But, of course, I know that you would never align yourself with someone like me. Is that true?
I look at him and there's definitely a moment of biting my tongue, but it just shows as me staring at him. But then I remember the person I used to be, and I put on a big smile, and I say, why, Count, I hope you will not find me to be offensive in my statement, but I do believe there's some hypocrisy in your statement. You claim to say that I am unaware of the multitude of layers that exist within your personality, and yet you put me in a box, simply saying that I am one with the light. Well, if I should examine the multitude of layers that you have, perhaps you should open your eyes a little wider as well. And I'm going to ask you something, Matt. Like, let's say I had a spell or something, or an ability that did something visual, but also had a mechanic. Could I choose to make the visual thing happen, but not the mechanic, but still use that ability?
What ability is it?
Basically, I'm wondering if I can use my necrotic shroud, but I'm not trying to frighten anyone.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'll let you
Okay,
that.
so when I say that, I say you should open your eyes a little bit wider. I release my black skeletal wings, and I tilt my head, and I say, does this look like light to you?
Ludmila next to you goes a little bit. Strahd looks to you, smiles, kind of sits back in his chair, smirks again almost to himself, and then picks up his glass of dark amber liquid and takes a sip of it, and he puts it down, and he says, you have surprised me in a good way. I see that you have not been led blindly by your faith. Perhaps that will save your life someday.
I'm full of surprises. Just give me the chance. And I just kind of like fold my wings, but they stay behind me as a visual for the next hour.
He turns
Or
to
minute,
Petra.
Sorry, minute, and then they go away.
He turns to Petra. And he kind of looks at you, Petra, a little bit, and he says, a student of the legendary hunter Rudolph van Richten. Oh, what a past that we two have together. It would be nice to see him again. Have you met up with him?
Not as yet, though I assume he's here somewhere.
Well, if you do meet up with him, give him my condolences. He'll understand.
You've met him?
Yes. Some would say that he is obsessed with me.
He can get a little bit single-minded.
Yes, he can. It's cute, I would say. Now, he has proven himself to be ineffective many times, but hopefully he has not taught you those ways, has he?
He's taught me many things. I would like to think that I have surpassed him, though that may be pride speaking. Let's see if I can't be a little bit more effective.
He nods, kind of sits back, and he says, please partake in the meal. I apologize profusely for my cook going missing. Richard, as you're with Escher and you're walking down out of this room, he takes you to the stairway that you had gone up before, but this time he takes you down into the lower levels. And he looks at you and says, you're normally not allowed to go to the lower levels as just a visitor, but if you're with me, I'll show you, I'll give you the good tour. How about that?
Suppose I should stay close then.
Yes, please stay close. He takes you down one floor into which opens into a small vestibule, like most of these stairs do. Can you make a perception check?
Okay, pretty good. 15.
Okay, let's see.
Oops, sorry. 17.
Ooh, 17. This little vestibule, there in the middle of the floor of this room, there is a pressure plate. Like it looks like a trap, but Escher just steps on it. Just steps on it as if he isn't concerned, and as he does, nothing happens. But he walks right past it and opens the door into a bigger hallway on the other side. This hallway looks like a servant's hall. It's completely dead silent, dark deep into the bowels of this castle. There are heavy beams that are kind of sagging on the roof. There's some doors down on the hallway to your left and a door right in front of you. But Escher motions and takes you to the right down the hallway to another set of doors. And as he does, he says, be on the lookout. This is where the rodent lives. There might be some, I don't know what this creature gets up to. It's disgusting. Cyrus! Cyrus! And he walks to the edge of the hallway. And as he does, he kind of looks to you, Richard. And he says, I don't want to get ahead of the master, but I know that he has a particular liking to you specifically. And yeah, and I think he's going to ask you to stay. And I will say, it's not so bad to stay here. It is, we live in a beautiful castle. I have this incredible things to eat and to feed, and it's not so bad to be a vampire either, of course. Don't worry, I am not going to bite you. Unless you want it, of course.
Perhaps not with fangs.
That's the only biting that I know how, though.
I'm sure we can work around it.
Yes. You see, are you trepidations about becoming a vampire?
I just don't understand. Why would Strahd want me, of all people, to stay and become one of you?
Well, he has a thing, I think, for young men that look like us. But it is, you see, the Master of Strahd did me a great service. He made me not just a spawn, I am a full vampire. And he could make that to you as well. I am beholden to no one. I call him master, but he is to me like a father. And I am free to do what I want, and go where I want, and see who I want. And now that I am a vampire, all of my senses are heightened 10 times. My strength, my sight, my taste, my touch, my pleasure, everything is heightened.
If someone was to become a vampire, would they be able to leave Barovia?
You're Vistani, are you not? Of course you can leave.
Even Vistani turned vampire?
I, unfortunately, do not have that luxury, as I am not a Vistani, but the Master has let people like you leave before. But I don't speak for him.
Well, it's not a no, but I will say where I'm from there's a terrible amount of sun, which I think would be a problem.
Yes, that might be a problem. You know, you get used to it, the whole no sun thing. Especially here in Barovia, you know.
Of course.
He stops right in front of this door that he's clearly about to open, and he kind of puts his back to it, and he says, just looking at you. I just think you'll like it here. And he turns and opens the door behind him. And this room that he opens is a wine cellar. There are 3 large casks of wine. 2 of them seem to be full, and a third one is, the top is open. And you see there is a human body that is strung up upside down over top of this cask. You see blood dripping down the body into the cask. You recognize this man to be Father Lucian, the father of the church in Vallaki. And Escher says, all right. Oh, sorry you had to see that, but hey, we're not trying to hide anything here. You know how this works, don't you? Now, can you help me grab some wine?
Yeah, is that what we've all been drinking?
No. Don't. I have been drinking it.
But not. You're
Yes.
so funny.
No, thank you. You're funny too.
Thank you.
All right. He kind of grabs a couple bottles down here, and he hands them to you. And he says, "All right. I don't know where this stupid rodent is. We'll have to go upstairs. Maybe he's in the servant. I'll check in the kitchen." And he kind of steps out of the room and heads down the hallway. And there's a door on the middle of this hallway that he opens up and sticks his head in. Cyrus, we need the second. Where have you been? He closes the door and he says, "Richard, let's head back upstairs."
Of course, I'm right behind you.
He heads to the stairs. What are you doing?
I'm following him.
Okay, you follow him.
I'll kind of hang back a little if there's any noises that I hear, but for the most part, I don't want to I'm not trying to venture alone in this castle.
Okay, he takes you upstairs into the dining room. As you come back in, Strahd and is sitting there, and he's having a conversation with some of the brides that are sitting next to him. What are the rest of you three doing? Just sitting, eating?
Trying to be charming.
Does it seem like it's been a while?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Wondering what that second course is.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, but I'm quite peckish. Been a long day of travel.
The door opens. You see Richard and Escher come in with bottles of wine.
Ah, thank you. Yes.
Oh, well, look at the timing.
Speaking of the devil, I'll kind of look around.
As you say that, Piddlewick is still in the corner, crossing his arms. But right behind Richard and Escher, you see Cyrus come up with a platter of food. It comes into the middle of the table. There's a couple people with him. They look like servants or maids, humans, in maid attire that are helping bring the food down from the basement. They unveil it to be this beautiful roast beast with root vegetables of every taste you could possibly imagine, and jams and jellies, an incredible display. And Strahd motions for you all to eat.
As I would have sat down as discreetly as I can so no one else can notice, I'm just going to kind of reach over and squeeze Gabe's knee a little bit just to signal something's up.
You can't sneak that past me.
I'm just going to give you a nod.
If there's a little bread plate or something, I would like to make Piddlewick a little plate of food and give it to him. I don't know if he eats.
Yeah, you make him a little bit of plate, and he kind of looks at you and
Please, Piddlewick. That's not
waddle. Walks over to you. He looks down at the plate and takes it and opens his metallic jaw and puts it in his mouth and is chewing it. And,
Ain't that good?
He looks at you and shrugs.
Don't be rude. Tell him how good it is. Thank you, Piddlewick. Wow.
It's really good.
Piddlewick. You're fading into dust, Piddlewick.
It's that good.
Yeah, Piddlewick explodes into fireworks. Strahd, are you guys eating this course? And it smells incredible. It tastes.
Does it taste any at all similar to that pie that I've been enjoying?
No, unfortunately not.
All right. It's not like a grown-up version of that pie.
Aged.
Well aged.
This is a vintage pie.
Does the roast beast look like an animal's corpse? I guess.
Yeah, make a insight check,
Let's say 16.
What is this roast beast's intentions?
Looks like probably a boar. Seems like it's a native animal to these lands that they probably butchered. Nothing. It's not a human.
Yep. It's not long pig.
Yeah. Strahd looks to you as you're eating Sal, and he says, "Now I am under the impression that you have just picked up some new reading material, have you not?"
Oh, well, I mean, people of my nature, I'm an avid reader, pick up anything I can.
Well, if that's the case, you probably know more about me than I care to admit. So I'll just come
Well,
out
I
with
think
it.
it's half as much as you know about us.
True. But please, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask me, Sal. What did you read in there?
Oh, I haven't really gotten too far into it. I think I've pretty much know all about you that I need to know.
Excellent. Now, he looks to the table. I am planning to extend my hospitality to you for tonight. I invite you all to stay the night. In fact, to prove to you that I mean you no harm, I will give you free reign of the castle. You may go wherever you please, but there is one rule. You must not go to the lower levels under any circumstances, which I will not repeat. But if you would like to go any other place in the castle, you will be welcomed with open arms. Now, I am sorry I have to leave before dessert is served, but my chamberlain, Rahadin, will show you to the guest rooms. I might see you later tonight. It would be an honor to share a drink with you. He stands up, and he walks out of the room.
I'll stand up when he stands up as a show of respect.
Yeah, same.
Okay. The three brides do not stand up.
Wow.
Escher will stand up, though.
I'll kind of gesture Piddlewick to bow. Come on, Piddlewick.
He bows. He's got bread stuffed in his mouth. As Strahd leaves the room, Cyrus brings up a couple plates with some chocolate mousse and lemon meringue pie, and he goes, "Oh, the master left before dessert. Well, I've kind of slaved over this. Oh, it's great. You guys want some dessert?"
Yeah, I'll take a slice of each.
He gives you the slice, heads out of the room. The three brides kind of get up, and Ludmila looks to you, Gabe, and she says, "For staying the night, you can see us in the lounge on the 5th floor." And they all kind of chitter, and they leave the room.
I'll be there.
It is now just you, four, and Escher who's sitting there. And it looks like he has no intention of standing up and leaving. He's just kind of sitting there.
So, we are to stay.
Yes, please stay. The master has provided you with a place to stay and clothes, and there will be meals, of course. It is the hospitality that he would like to extend to you all.
Are we going to be given some sleepwear for the night?
Of course, Gertruda should be on it right now.
She's amazing.
Yes, she is. She's annoying, for sure, but I guess she's amazing.
I'm wearing my sleepwear under these clothes.
Interesting.
We do.
Escher, I'm
in the nude.
Quite
I got it.
Embarrassingly excited to partake upon this opportunity. It's something that I'm quite looking forward to, shamefully. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind just giving me and my friends a moment of privacy so that we can discuss matters and decide how the evening is going to progress.
Make a persuasion check.
Well, I'm just going to finish it with, you see, I know you've been having your fun with Richard, but I just want my turn.
I will, to help him, I'll put my arm around the back of Gabe's chair. I'm sure Gabe and I will see you later.
Okay, yeah. Make a
fuck is going
persuasion.
on?
Make a persuasion with advantage, Gabe.
Okay.
Did I miss something?
Okay, at advantage, it's a 17.
Escher kind of sits back and looks to you, Richard, and looks to Gabe. With him, really? Huh. All right. He gets up, and he walks out of the room.
Playing hard to get is only gonna make me want you more.
He turns and gives you daggers, stares daggers at you, and leaves the room. And it's just you four.
I take off my cloak and like put my
I
gun in my
expect
hands.
this from Richard, but Gabe, what has got into you? Something in the wine?
We have to get close to these people to get as much information as we can.
Keep
Oh, okay.
we should probably keep up voices like it's his castle.
The door to this room is closed after Escher left, but you can still hear in your head the voice of screaming agony, indicating the Rahadin is just on the other side of the story.
I mean, I wasn't yelling.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, are we staying?
I don't want to be in here any longer than we need to, but
It's not like we can just. We don't have a. He was all right. We can't just leave.
That's a good point.
being right outside his castle at night is probably no more safe than being within.
Didn't we see him also like transform into a bunch of bats at one point? Like he can just be anywhere.
I mean, look, if he wanted to kill us, I think he could just like do it. So I don't think we're in much danger
I agree.
any more than we always have been.
And I think that the same thing that we discussed on the way here applies. This is not the time to confront.
I will say one tiny detail, hopefully not that important. Escher did tell me that apparently Strahd would prefer it if I stayed and became a vampire.
Oh, well, congratulations, I guess.
I'm not really.
No.
Oh.
No.
Do your best to,
Oh, I fully intend on, like, rocking Escher's world and making him, like, forget about it. So that's sort of my plan at this point. It's really all I have. Like I said, I don't have magic like the rest of you. I have to use what I have.
I was going to
Your
say,
sword.
yes, be mindful of any persuasion techniques, but I mean, it seems like you have some of your own.
I'm kind of hoping. Oh God, I don't want to volunteer for this. Gabe, if you two are better than one, if you want to help me.
He doesn't seem interested. I'm going to focus my attention on the count. Or
I'm
no,
just-
not
I-
the count.
I just think if I'm interested, it'll make him interested in us as a thing.
I think that if we separate ourselves and try to get as much information as possible, that's better. And Ludmila showed a passing interest in me. I think that that's the route I should explore.
Damn. All right.
The doors open to this room, and you see Rahadin step forward. He walks up to Richard, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. You like look up and like bleary-eyed from the voices in your head, and he says, "The master wants to see you alone." He pulls you up to your feet.
Oh. I guess
He like starts to like usher you out of the room.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'll see you all in a bit.
You've got this.
Look,
He Hedge takes you out of the room, and you see Escher standing at the bottom of the stairs. And Escher says, "Don't worry, Rahadin, I'll get him." And Rahadin kind of looks at him and nods and turns, and then you see him just kind of sit on the opposite outside of the dining room again. Not in it, but he's just waiting. And Escher takes you upstairs, Richard.
Cool.
Meanwhile, the three of you are alone.
you guys, Gertruda, what was her name? Gertrude? Gertruda?
Yes.
She was stolen from Barovia. You guys remember that one lady who was missing her daughter?
She knocked on the door, yes. Oh.
That's her.
We must.
I'm afraid that I don't know that we can do anything about that
Yeah,
tonight.
I just didn't want that to sleep on my conscience alone.
Yeah. I think everything that he's shown us has been intentional. We've been here, he's trying to provoke us. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't serve you any pie.
Yes.
Oh. Don't even talk about it,
Don't
please.
sound disappointed, Salvatore.
I can't help it. I wish I could.
You don't know
I
how to
really do.
lie? Just to
I
save
can't lie about
ourselves?
this.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't want to do anything without the group's consensus, but you do agree that me maybe visiting Ludmilla is probably a good idea, right?
I mean,
Sure.
perhaps even to be so bold. I was going to say asking the Count, but I don't know what his stance is on sharing.
That's a good point.
Well, he's got 3. He can't spare one.
I do think that displaying my shame in front of that man got him to loosen up a little bit about me.
Well, I think he wants to corrupt us.
And I
I think he's
appear
going to find.
incorruptible.
Yeah, I'm uncorruptible, so don't worry about me.
You already seem corrupted.
Yeah. I'm halfway up. I'm halfway in the bag right now.
I am
know what to
interested
do.
as to... He called out both Petra and I, and he didn't say a single word to you, Salvatore.
He talked to me a little bit.
Not about your past.
Right. He's more concerned about his past. I may have stumbled upon his personal journal.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
There's some stuff in there we need to talk about. Maybe not within these walls.
Agreed. Petra, I'm sorry to even plant this thought in your head, but do you think that von Richten could be within these walls?
I don't think so. I think if he was, the Count would not have phrased that as.
He also probably would have showed him as some kind of trophy.
My vision showed him near Valaki. Though this is not the time to try and pursue him. We should try to seek him out when we can.
Well, if Richard is speaking with Escher, and I'm speaking with Ludmilla, what are the two of you
Who
going
am I
to
going to fuck?
You've got a toy.
The
don't
animal
you?
guy.
You're right.
Silence.
God,
I've always had a thing for webbed feet.
absolutely horrific.
I think, and I'm going to say this plainly, none of us should go to the lower levels.
Well, that's got to be where Strahd sleeps.
I don't know if that's where he sleeps, but this is, as we said, not the time.
We don't want to anger him to the point of action. I agree.
But what if he doesn't catch us?
Salvatore, the last time that you just kind of went off and did something, you got devil horns.
Right. And became a little bit more powerful. Came off really for the better, if you think about it.
I mean it, not this time. Not
Right.
you, not the doll, not your bird. None of us go downstairs.
Damn it, I really didn't think you'd bring the bird into this, but all right. You have my word. I will not wander into lower levels without one of you.
I mean,
Heard.
Salvatore, what Petra said earlier is true. We have to realize that our actions not only have consequences for us, but the people of this realm. I mean, you and I practically did what we thought was a joke, and 2 young children were killed.
Yeah. I just pushed that out of my brain. But yeah, no, you're right.
Who knows who or what is down there, and who or what you would put in danger by going. We need to follow the rules, at least this time.
There was this. Remember that painting that we saw of Strahd in his armor?
Yeah, I thought I saw eyes moving behind it.
Yeah. Well, I cast a spell and it was pinging conjuration magic, so I might go check that out while you guys are doing your thing.
Could be a portal.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be not really. Could be a doorway to something. But
Interesting.
it's not the lower level.
I think that's where
No.
you should go. Petra, what about you?
Something similar to that. I knew we were coming here and prepared some spells to detect magic, and he did say we had free run
He did.
of the upper levels, so
I was proud of it.
I might do some exploration here, get what we can, and then go back to my room and wait to see if anything else happens. Do my best to stay nearby to wherever y'all are and be ready to help should things go south.
Do we have any way of communicating with each other at a distance? I don't think we do, but I thought I might ask.
I do have the sending spell ready. I thought it would be helpful to prepare in case we needed to give Irina some warning.
It's very good thinking.
Or even just to communicate amongst ourselves. I don't have any way of sending a message.
I don't think I do either. I don't think paladins have cantrips.
Well, I can maybe send Linguini or Piddlewick to deliver something, but that's about it.
Would Piddlewick kind of like do it in charades?
I can maybe write a note.
Oh, okay.
Pin it to his lapel.
Could he do it in charades first, and then if I don't get it, I read the note?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
wonderful.
Piddlewick's like,
2 words. Wonderful. Okay, great. Running. Run up. We should run up. Okay, all right. I don't know why.
all right. As you guys are all having your moment in the dining room, Richard, as you're walking upstairs, Escher is now taking you, and as you're walking up these kind of like tight spiral staircase, he says, "So, do you have any hobbies, or what are you into?"
Oh, well, I'm a fantastic dancer, if you must know. I'm an enjoyer of art. I enjoy swimming. I love a bit of archery sometimes.
You know, you're going to love it here.
You know, let's just take things one step at a time. By the way, totally cool, whatever you want to do. I will say, Gabe, really handsome, fantastic in bed. Just something to be aware of.
He's not my type.
How?
Are you and Gabe?
We have a sort of understanding, you could say.
Will they, won't they?
And how is he? If you know what I mean.
Oh, amazing. Like a giant ass, but also like in the front, pretty good. Like pretty fantastic. So like whatever you're into, he like you're set either way, like whatever your preferences are. He can take care of you either way, if you know what I'm saying.
You know, Richard, the night that I became a vampire, I felt more ecstasy than the normal human body could possibly contain.
That sounds like a thought. A lot of
he
ecstasy.
bites his lip a little bit and then takes you up to the 4th floor. Can you see this map, Michael? I think you're the only one on it.
Yes, I can.
Okay, you're the only person on this map. Escher takes you into this, off of the stairway, takes you into this room, which seems to be another dining hall that is not being used. There's nothing in there, or no food or anything, but then he kind of takes you around.
I can't get in. Oh, there we go.
And takes you into what looks like a study.
I'm trying to get into the room. I'm locked outside.
Right here. I got you. This room is a blazing hearth of fire in this beautifully appointed study, rolling waves of red and amber light in this heated room. There's nice duvets and couches and chairs. There's an extensive bookshelf with books of, you would guess, every single type. There is a low table and a fire poker that's seated out that looks like has been recently used to stoke the flames. The only person in this room, standing in this room, you see is Strahd. His back is to you, and he is staring up at a large painting on the walls ahead of him. Without looking, he says, Escher, leave us. And Escher looks to you, Richard, a little bit like hurt that he's been ushered away, but then gives you a wink and walks out of the room, closes the door behind him. As you're sitting in this room, this study with Strahd. You look up at this painting that he is staring at, and it is this with the name Tatiana on it. A woman in her early 20s with beautiful red flowing hair and a beautiful purple dress. And this woman looks exactly like Irina. And he, without still now, has not turned to face you. He says, I should really take this painting down. Just seeing her face like this is a curse to me. He turns around to you, Richard, and he says, he's got a glass of red liquid that stains his lips as he takes a sip. And he says, I'm going to cut to the chase, Theodore. I want you to be my successor. And that is where we're going to end.
Oh my god.
You gotta take that deal, man. I don't care. That's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
Michael re-rolls a character.
I mean,
Or I'm just
cool.
really powerful.
Whoa.
Okay, that was fun. Thank you all for playing.
Oh,
We'll
thank
be
you,
back in a
Matt.
couple
Dude.
weeks.
Oh,
That was fun.
That was
Um,
amazing.
What an intense, horny session.
Yeah, very horny, very intense.
This is the most horny Curse of Strahd has ever been.
So far.
So far.
So far.
Good, yeah, good.
Yeah, I literally have a horny playlist on my
Good.
Roll20.
Good.
That's so funny.
All right, so stay tuned to Charmed Persons. We got a lot of great stuff. Sunday, we have D&D, fantasy, high fantasy, long-term campaign in Teheran that's coming to a close. Get in while the getting's good. Of course, there might be another campaign in the future, so stay tuned for that. There we've got next Thursday at this time, we have Monster Hearts, which is always a blast to play in. And then Wednesdays for the rest of this month, I believe, is Wizard U, new Wizarding World themed one shot or long shot run by Zach. All right, that's it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Everyone, of course, everyone, like you always do, say, see ya.
See ya.
Yeah.